things. Like when we went through what you see on some of these small signs right here, is that they stripped our nationality from us. They stripped our language from us. They stripped our beliefs from us. They stripped everything from us. But what we come to find out now that they allowed us to read and write is that our history was actually documented in this book.
That's right.
Even though this book is everywhere in the churches, it hasn't been taught from the perspective of black and brown eyes. Let me say it that way. Because the way the Bible is being taught today in the churches is through the lenses of Caucasian men. Because the same thing that the Baptist church is started by a Caucasian man in the 1600s, I think, 16 or 1700s, maybe 1800s. But all those denominations, Baptist, Methodist, Lutheran, Seventh-day Adventist, all those things, if you trace the history back to them, you're going to see that they were started by Caucasian men.
That's right.
While we were in chains. So those things had nothing to do with us. We just adopted those beliefs over time. But meanwhile, while they took our book and did that, our history is written here. Our customs are written here. Who we are, what we're supposed to do. Our purpose of life is written here. That's what we're finna read. Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 7. 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
Because this is the whole reason why we put on the earth, bro. Because we walk around, we live 30, 40, 50 plus years still wondering, how you doing, bro?
No, you my bro.
All praises.
Jesus' name, bro. I'm gonna hear y'all out too.
All praises. We walk around, we live in 30, 40, 50 years, not understanding what's our purpose, why we here. We still trying to find that. Even the people who so-called made it, you know what I'm saying, like Drake or Tupac or whatever, they got everything that you could probably want on this earth. You'll still hear them make songs talking about like how they feel like they missing something. You know what I'm saying? Or it's like it's something bigger. Every time somebody make it, they be like, once they get there, they're like, damn, the fame and the money wasn't really nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because you were put here for a bigger purpose than just chase some money and some hoes, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're here for a bigger purpose. God says, what's that purpose? Read it again.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments.
The whole purpose is to fear God and keep his commandments. Why? Right. Because God is the person who put all of us here, bro. All of us here. He put us here to serve that purpose. It's to worship him. That's it. You know what I'm saying? We the ones who sought out all this extra BS to get drunk, to get high, to party, to fornicate, do all these things. We came up with that. You know what I'm saying? Ways to please our flesh. But the Lord said, this is what I want you to do. This is why I made you here. This is why I put breath in your lungs. This is why I put blood in you, your heart to pump blood. It's to serve me. So that's why we going over what we going over. To teach, number one, to remind you of who you are, that you're an Israelite of the Bible. You're not an African American, a black, a Negro, nigger. Everything that we learn here, God calls us Israelites, the Jews of the Bible. That's who we are. So first and foremost, to give you back that nationality and give you back your heritage, bro, your customs. That's what's written in this book. Let's get one of them, Numbers 15:38. Numbers 15:38. Because God being our Father, do you have any children? Okay, with your children, you're going to pass down to your children things that you want them to pass along to their children. You know what I'm saying? The things that you learned over your life, you teaching them so they can learn how to advance and go to spaces that surpasses you, and then replicate that cycle with their children. So it's a constant, like a constant ladder. Y'all getting better each generation or whatever. But the Lord did the same thing to us. He gave us things that we were supposed to learn and pass down children to our children, that we can live long. Read that.
Numbers chapter 15, verse 38. Speak unto the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garment throughout their generations.
He says, speak unto the children of Israel, but you're an Israelite, you're a child of Israel, according to the Bible. It says, and he bid them to make them fringes in the borders of their garments. What you see on the bottom of all these brothers' shirts, that's what you call fringes. This is what fringes are. He's going to explain why does he want us to dress different when everybody is dressing regularly. Let's see why. Read.
Throughout their generations.
So as long as we generating, we reproducing, we keep on having kids, this is how long he wants to do this. Read.
And that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
Which is what you see on top of the fringes. It can be different shades of blue, different widths of the ribbon, but as long as it's a ribbon of blue, that's what he wants you to put on top. Why? Read.
Verse 39, and it shall be unto you for a friend, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord and do them.
So he says the purpose of why I want you to wear these fringes is so you, when you out and about doing whatever you got to do in the midst of a God-forsaken place, that you can look down and remember all the things I commanded you to do, and they can remind you that you're supposed to do them. Now, if I want to ask you this, if God's purpose, it says to fear God and keep His commandments, what you think is the objective of the devil or Satan? If the Bible says that our purpose, our duty, is to fear God and keep His commandments, right? What do you think would be the objective of Satan or the devil? Yeah. Absolutely, he wants you to forget the commandments.
That's right.
If I can take your mind off of the Lord for just a couple seconds and get you in sin, that's him completing his job. That's what he wants. So guess what? The Lord gave us a dress code to remind us every time we walk out, when you put on your clothes. It's a reminder when you look at it, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is my duty. This is my duty. You're able to keep that in your mind. Because every time we walk out the door, what are we going to see? We're going to see sisters dressed like prostitutes. You're going to see brothers getting high. You're going to see brothers getting drunk. You're going to see brothers toting pistols, gang banging. You're going to see the things that are the works of the flesh, or that comes from Satan. Brothers worshiping Satan, really. That's what it is. Brothers and sisters worshiping Satan. So if you're trying to live a godly life, guess what? The Lord He gave you a dress code to help remind you of that. Gave you a dress code to help remind you of that. Guess what else He gave us for our cousin? Leviticus 11. How you doing, bro? I'm telling you, we think we look at certain things as very small to us, but they're very big to the Lord because it comes with it's spiritual behind it. Hold that, Romans 7:14. Don't prove that. What's your name, bro? Tyrone. My name's Soraya, bro. Nice to meet you. Yes, sir. Nice to meet you. Read that. Romans 17. Yeah, 17:4. Wait, what is it? 7 and 14, excuse me. Yes. Just to prove what I said, because the commandments of the Lord is spiritual. Read that.
Romans chapter 7, verse 14. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin.
Because you'll hear a lot of brothers say that I deal with energy, I'm spirituality. But God says in the Bible that His commandments is what's spiritual. That's right. That's what's spiritual. But He said by nature, He said we're carnal. Meaning carnal means to be like fleshly. We serve our flesh. We're servants to our impulses, what we desire. Whatever our flesh craves, we are 9 times out of 10 likely to exactly. We're prisoners of that thing. But what's going to change that? The law that's spiritual. That's what's going to change that. That's what he read earlier. John 6:63. John 6:63. That's what he read earlier. Because the law that's spiritual, this is the law being spiritual, it's going to change our mind from being in that prison. Being in that prison. Read that. John 6:63.
John chapter 6, verse 63. It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life.
Think of the words that Christ is speaking to the people. They're the words that God gave them. That's the commandments. He said, these words I'm speaking to you, they are spirit. And it says the spirit is what quickeneth. When you look up the word quicken, it means to revive or to change. Because the Bible says when we wander out the way of understanding, we are amongst the dead. We basically like the Walking Dead, like the TV show. When we keeping the commandments, we're under His wings, we're under His protection. But when we're not keeping His commandments, He says that we are amongst the congregation of the dead. Even though we walking around, we got full movement, full control of our arms and legs. He said we are like the dead. Because why? We don't have the words of God is life. That's what give us life. Read that again.
John chapter 6, verse 63. It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing.
So when we chase those cravings to get high, to smoke weed, to please our flesh, or to lay down with multiple women, sleep with multiple women throughout the week, when we do that to try to satisfy our flesh, God's telling you that it profits nothing. It's not going to profit you. Matter of fact, this is how it's going to profit you. Romans 6:23. This is the only profit that's going to come from it. Romans chapter 6, verse 23. There it is. Read that.
Romans chapter 6, verse 23. For the wages of sin is death.
Because guess what? Getting high or not being sober, that's in the Bible, that's called sin. Or sleeping with multiple women. That's sleeping with multiple women or outside of marriage, it's fornication, it's sin. So he says the wages of sin, or the payment for that, just like you work on a job, you get wages, the payment for that sin is what? Read it again.
For the wages of sin is death.
It's death. That's how the flesh is gonna profit you. That's it.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.